After 7 months, federal government brings Yelwata killings suspect to justice. My people, it's another beautiful day with Naija Bull Talk, where we bring you trending news to your doorstep. Please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. Now we're going to break down this news headline for today to hear everything it has to say about it. The federal government has announced that it will arraign suspects linked to the Yelwata massacre in Benue State on Monday, February 2nd, 2026, which is today. This development follows the deadly attack that occurred on the night of June 13th and June 14th, 2025. Gunmen carried out a coordinated assault, killing estimated 100 to 200 people, mostly Christian villagers, including many internal displaced people who came to take shelter at a Catholic mission. The attack displaced thousands and drew a widespread condemnation, including from the Pope, who described it as a terrible massacre targeting rural Christian communities. Now let's watch a video together about this attack, the incidents that happened on the 14th and on the 13th of June 2025.
On the night of Friday, 13th June 2025, terror swept through Yelwata, a quiet farming border town in Benue State, Nigeria. As darkness fell, heavily armed men suspected to be herdsmen surrounded the town. They came with guns and attacked with fury. They poured petrol on market stalls where families were sleeping, families who had already fled violence in nearby villages. They set them ablaze. Mothers, children, refugees burned alive in the very place they thought was safe. Officially, the police say 45 people died that night. But local leaders, including Chief Dennis Bagwa, say the real number is far higher. Over 200 lives lost, many inside Catholic mission where the displaced had gathered for shelter. That same day, in another part of Goma, 2 soldiers were also killed in a separate ambush. This wasn't just an attack, it was part of a deeper older tragedy. Benue, known as Nigeria's food basket, is gradually becoming a shadow of itself. The state has long been caught in a deadly struggle between farmers and Fulani herdsmen. As drought and desertification drive herders south, they clash with farmers over land. Fields are trampled, crops destroyed, and communities burned to the ground. But this isn't only about land. Most of Benue's farmers are Christians, while many herdsmen are Muslims. And when tensions rise, religion adds fuel to an already dangerous fire. Since 1999, thousands have been killed in this conflict. In 2023 alone, 119 separate attacks were reported, leaving over 400 people dead. In 2017, Benue passed a law banning open grazing, and it was meant to stop this violence. But it was never fully enforced, and the killings have continued. On Sunday, 15th June, from St. Peter's Square in Rome, Pope Leo XIV spoke before his Angelus prayer. His voice reached across continent as he called the Yelwata attack a terrible massacre. He said, "I pray for security, justice and peace in Nigeria, especially for the rural Christian communities of Benue State, relentless victims of violence."
La città di Yelwata, nell'area amministrativa locale di Goma, nello stato di Benue in Nigeria.
Now, survivors of Yelwata have been moved to emergency camps in Makurdi, the state capital. Aid workers from the Benue State Emergency Management Agency are doing what they can. Governor Hyacinth Alia from the All Progressive Congress condemned the killings. "Nobody has the right to take another person's life," he said. But for many, the words came too late. Angry protests have broken out in Makurdi. People are demanding the anti-grazing law be enforced. They want real protection. They want justice. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sent troops and other security chiefs to intensify the hunt for the perpetrators. Reports suggest 42 suspects have now been detained, but locals say the government acted only after the blood had dried. President Tinubu is scheduled to visit Benue on Wednesday in a bid to personally assess the situation. The People's Democratic Party has openly accused the state of ignoring warnings, and many citizens are asking the same question: how did this happen again? Because this is not just a land dispute, this is a struggle for survival, of identity, of livelihood, and of life itself. If Nigeria does not act now, with firm land policies, grazing laws, climate solutions, justice for victims, and real security, then Yelwata's crisis might not be the last. Will Nigeria listen before more blood is spilled? For now, fingers crossed, hoping for a lasting resolution.
Welcome back. Now we're going to go ahead with this news headline. Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited the area shortly after directing Security Chief and the Inspector General of Police to identify and arrest those responsible for this crime. In the aftermath, authorities arrested several suspects following the painstaking investigation and internal agency collaboration. Now we're going to see a video when our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited some of the victims in the hospital.
This word has to be sorted. After the before, what we had made us from start, this word we have to be serious. Some had application, some not some lost their use, some use.
Welcome back. Now we're going to go ahead with this news headline. According to the statement from the senior assistant to the President on Communication and Publicity in the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, the suspect strongly linked to the violent attack will appear before Justice Joy at the Federal High Court in Abuja. The government emphasized that the arraignment aimed to deliver justice and send strong message to those people threatening the peace of this country, regardless of any disguise or motive. Now, this call for justice, these steps, comes about 7 months after the massacre, aimed at ongoing calls from civic society groups, victims' families, and coalitions for swift persecutions to address the impunity in Nigeria, recurring farmer-herder conflicts, and the violence in the Middle Belt region. Now, victims were shot, hacked with machetes, or burnt alive after being locked up in buildings and set ablaze. Over 3,000 people were displaced. The humanitarian crisis in Benue State IDP camp, where conditions remain dire, with inadequate water, sanitations of food, and even healthcare. Now let's watch a video together where our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made a statement on this particular incident.
May their soul rest in peace. May God bring peace and joy to the people of Benue and the community in Yelwata town. We are here to help you with peace. It's vital to development. And you are elected under the progressive banner to ensure there's a peace, stability, and progress. so that we can come and commission projects, rejoice with you on progress, value, and things of joy. As you are not elected to bury people, create orphans and orphanages, and sympathize with widows, we work with you to achieve that peace. Not everybody will like you in politics. They hate me like hell too. But I'm here. I am the president. Another democratic regime. I made a promise. I even protected my abusers and accusers with the principle of democracy, freedom, and prosperity. I will protect them. I've seen the people hospitalized. Governor, please announce in a broadcast for people to donate more blood voluntarily to the hospitals. We have to find solutions to this. What's the cause of the conflict? Though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. It must reflect in everything we do, in our character. We want to hand over to the next generation, our children yet unborn, a banner without stain. We must work towards that. I've said it again and again. We are members, as Nigerians, we are members of the same family, living in the same house, but sleeping in different rooms. Whether you are a thief or you are a Joma, you are a Yoruba, we have no choice but to turn this country into a nation of prosperity, unity. Fight our enemies together, not fight each other now. Governor, you get me? The yoke is on you. That's part of the problem of leadership. I give you the assurance that we will find peace. We will convert this tragedy to prosperity. Again and again. Police, I hope your men are on alert to listen to information. How come no arrest is being made? I expect there should be arrests of those criminals.
Now, these are images from the incident where people's houses were burnt down to ashes. This is another image where people's houses were burnt. You can even see people who were burnt alive. These are images from the incident. Now, this is another image where the angry youth of that particular community came out to protest on this incident. Now, this is another image of the youth of this particular community when they came out to protest on this particular incident. This is how angry they were about this incident. Now, my people, that's all we have on this particular news headline for today. We are going to dive straight into Twitter to see how happy Nigerian people are about this justice that is going to be served today. At Chooks fan says here, story for the gods. It's now they want to arraign them in court because of the expose from the US guy in Yelwata. This other one says, Atozoma says here, 3 weeks before the Yelwata massacre that killed more than 200 Christians happened, the Nigerian government were informed of the pending disaster. They did nothing. The government, DSS, military were also involved of the movement happening a day before the massacre. They did Nothing. Now they want to bring justice. So my people, that's all we have on this particular news headline for today. We're going to bring you more details if justice is really served on this particular headline, or they adjourned the case till next time. But we'll bring you more updates on this particular news headline for today. So it's going to be until next time. Naija Bull Talk. Bye bye for now.